Namaste. Welcome to the live session of our course, Organization Development and Change in 21st Century. For this live session, I will be taking up your questions regarding the content or the examination pattern. But before that, I thought of sharing few things which are very pertinent, which are uh, influencing our lives, and how we can make sense of those things and how we can better appreciate those things in light of the field of organization development and change. So what I wish to bring your notice towards is OD-based strategy for large scale changes. There are large number of initiatives happening in Bharat in current times, whether it is related to Swachh Bharat or cleanliness, startup, Nal Se Jal, some reforms about in the manufacturing sector, performance-linked incentive plans, reforms related to the policy implementation. Major reforms are happening for in terms of digitization of many processes. So OD, we know, is a field of applied behavioral science for bringing about systems level changes in an organization. What I wish to bring your attention towards is that lot of OD intervention, lot of OD based approaches are visible, and rather they are shown to be, we can see their importance in the large scale change processes and change initiatives we are seeing around us. Precisely, I'll be taking three examples. My first example is Swachh Bharat Mission. According to UN commissioned studies and many other studies, Swachh Bharat Mission is a successful initiative. A large number of toilets are constructed. A lot of processing plants are being established for processing the waste material. There has been a massive public awareness campaign, and people are talking about it, and everybody seems to be aware of it. There is a competition in amongst the districts in India to be rated cleanest cities, or to feature in the clean cities of India. I have personally looked at Indore, Chandigarh, Bhopal, some of these cities which have significantly changed in terms of their cleanliness after this initiative. If you look at the Swachh Bharat Mission, there is a flow of information and flow of the activities starting from the Prime Minister office to the local governance and local bodies at the panchayat level. So PM sets the goal, leadership was identified, finance was mobilized, there were partners in all the aspects related to collection of the waste material and to the processing of the waste material. First of all, 100 flagship districts were identified to implement this program. Then, based on the learnings of the implementation in the 100 districts, new norms were identified, the real-time monitoring system was established that required digitization, that required training of the people, and district officials were made accountable for the initiatives. District officials were motivated, and a healthy competition was created. As a result of that, we look at the positive impact of the Swachh Bharat Mission in the large number of a vast area of this country. It is reflected in a healthy competition amongst various districts to be the clean districts of India, or to be the cleanest district in a state or in the country. If you observe this initiative, this was not possible without support of the local public, general administration, and without the help of technology. So this is one example where context, input, environment, strategy, or brain resulted into the change in behavior. In OD, we study change in behavior. OD is applied behavioral science, and we see a mass level change in behavior through the Swachh Bharat mission. The task or the purpose of the very mission is far from completion. There is a lot to be achieved. But at the same time, in last eight years, we have seen its impact, and it is reflected not only at the systems level, but also people's behavior as well. So this is the first example. The second example of the large scale policy initiated change process is Startup India combined with Make in India combined with Digital India. Digital payment system in India is a great success story. The conversion of the transaction at the digital platform from the cash-based transaction, that change has been phenomenal. Number of transactions, digital transaction taking place in India is amongst the highest in the world. Number of people who are using, a number of people in the total population who are using the digital transfer facilities, that also is very high in India at the global level as well. So there is a systematic, there is a change in behavior of people. So this can also be looked at as OD intervention. Digital India has a backbone, or you can say Digital India is a great supporting force for the Startup India as well. At the moment, we will look at Startup India movement. Number of startups in India as they are registered in the ministry, that is number 3 globally after US and Israel. And that number is fast increasing. We are also seeing some great success stories of the startups. If you look at the initiatives for Startup India, it range from leadership program to Stand Up India movement, to India initiatives, to Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, which support the smallest industries, micro and medium-sized enterprises, credit guarantee scheme, single registration scheme, raw material assistant scheme, design clinic schemes. If you look at the enterprise starts from an idea. Then it has to be constituted. Enterprise has to be given a shape of a business unit or an organization. Then it starts its activity. So supply chain starts, their activities start in terms of their negotiation, searching for the market, getting connected to the market, providing the services, collecting the money, and management of the finances and customer feedback. At all the stages of the value creation in a startup, you will see some or other initiatives. So, for example, Atal Innovation Mission, that primarily works as ideation stage. This helps students to tinker around certain machines, some instruments, getting some curiosity generated around those machines and what all is possible with those machines. And a lot of incubation center which are set up in many colleges, they instigate students to think beyond getting job, think beyond getting placement, but think in terms of how they can be the job giver instead of job seekers. This is at the ideation stage. If you look at even ideation stage is later. In some of the initiatives in the Startup India, the intervention was at the aspirational level. That means the social recognition was ensured. Social recognition was the target to be established, to be achieved through some of these initiatives. The very conversation in the society took a form where people started looking up starting their own business as a matter of reputation. This has happened in not only in the engineering colleges or IITs, it is percolating down to the colleges which are non-engineering and which are in the smaller cities in India. So Startup India initiative started from not just developing the ideas, it started from building the aspirations, establishing the aspirations towards starting our own business. And then at the each supply chain stage, related to raw material, related to ideation, related to managerial capabilities, related to finance, there are initiatives, there are schemes, there are policy interventions. Third example I wish to take is Millet Mission. Millet Mission 2023, UN also declared 2023 as International Year of Millets. This is a case study of Odisha. Odisha started the Millet Mission much earlier than it was announced by United Nations. Major outlay was allocated. Large number of farmers were touched. They were motivated, and a kind of assurance given to the farmers that their millets, their millet produce will be purchased by the government. First, it was implemented in the 11th district, and then it was further implemented in other districts. In one of the Sundargarh district, this is a particularly a success story. In the Sundargarh district, the millet laddus were started being distributed through ICDS. Initially, 2 laddus were given to the kids because of their nutritional value. Then the number increased to 4. That helped people to develop the taste for millets and develop the appreciation for millets. Some corporate social responsibility fund was also mobilized. Perhaps the Mineral Foundation, that the organization which works in exploration of the minerals, they have also provided some support. And the Millet Mission in the Sundargarh was initiated well, and it was implemented well and appreciated by Niti Aayog. So these are 3 examples I wanted to take and discuss with you as a policy-induced large-scale changes. And in all the successful initiatives, we are seeing OD principles are being implemented. For example, what are the OD principles? OD principles are democratic values, looking at the whole system, engaging people, communication, creating a sense of urgency, identifying the heroes, setting up the systems and processes to facilitate the change process, tracking the progress of the change, institutionalization of the change initiatives as initiatives start giving the right results, desired results. All these elements which we studied in the OD course and which we studied primarily in the context of business organizations or educational institutions or social enterprises, all these principles are applicable in the policy-induced changes which are done at very large scale. And these 3 have been the example. Specifically looking at that, we can see that in all the successful changes, preparation was as important as implementation. And preparation not only in the ground level, preparation not only in terms of the administrative structure or not only in terms of technological readiness, preparation was also required at the level of mind. People should recognize the importance of the change process. So to initiate that, to ensure that a very strong communication strategy had to be implemented, and all the successful policy-induced changes are supported by extensive communication at all levels, starting from the top level, which is at the Prime Minister level, to the Chief Minister levels, to the Panchayat levels. The communication system was established in all those initiatives where communication was clear, strong. It resulted into the success. Democratic values are important. No change could be implemented just by releasing the diktat. We cannot expect a major change just by releasing the diktats. For all the initiatives, and there can be other initiatives as well. Ayushman Bharat is currently being worked upon, and many other initiatives, or capability mission, competence mission. All these initiatives started by recognizing and involving as many stakeholders as possible. The perspective of multiple stakeholders was taken to draw the blueprint of the innovation. In the print, Sharad Raghavan's one article looks at the successful initiatives and not so successful initiatives. And Sharad Raghavan, who is the editor, economic section of the print, he reaches to a conclusion which seems to make sense to me from the OD perspective as well, which says that all the initiatives like Digital India or Startup India, where in large public was involved, when a democratic process was implemented, applied in the initiation of the changes, those change initiatives were successful. And those initiatives, and he gives example of farmers law, which were, and the land reform, which were initiated without much discussion, eventually those initiatives were not successful on the ground level. So it substantiates this observation. If it is correct, it substantiates the OD values, and democratic value are very important core OD value. And last but not the least, no OD process can be successful just based on initiatives, just based on regulation, just based on, even if you have a very good technology, it is not the guarantee to be successful. The ingredient which brings life to all these elements, which are the building blocks of the large scale changes, that ingredient is leadership. Leadership not only at the top level. As much efforts are required for people to go through the change process, so much effort is required to prepare leadership at all levels of implementation. If you look at the extensive leadership development program created for supporting the Ayushman Bharat, that gives example for that. Or digitization related training system was implemented at all levels of governance. Startup related interventions, or currently we are seeing new education policies being implemented. For the new education policy implementation as well, large number of training programs are organized for different aspects of education and different categories and different groups of the faculty member. So leadership is inevitable. Leadership is the magical element which brings together all other element of change. That is true in OD, in organization development initiatives at organizational level. That is true at the societal level as well. So these are the things I thought can be the precursors of new initiatives, new learning in OD interventions. OD as a field of knowledge, OD as a field of practice has been evolving since last at least 80 years, starting from the behavioral training to socio-technical school, to appreciative inquiry, to technology, socio-technical intervention, appreciative inquiry, combination, strategic OD interventions. Going through all these things now is a stage where field of OD can look at some of the large scale change initiatives. A lot of values which OD has been, the proponents of OD have been talking about, those values are also there. Those values were equally important in the large scale change initiatives as well. But these large scale change initiatives are at much higher level of complexity. If we examine the higher level of complexity, there is a possibility that we can get some insights about human behavior, about how systems work, about how socio-technical systems interact, and many other things. We can get new insights which can enrich the field of organization development and change. So these are the things I thought are worth discussing in our live sessions. These were not discussed in the main session, but these are the new changes in the OT. Maybe in the near future, we will be creating modules and enhancing the existing module by incorporating large scale changes also, and we can study those things from the OT perspective. Now, if you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, we can close this session. A lot of participants have been asking questions directly beforehand as well. They were sending emails. Actually, you can send emails as well, and you must have noticed that all your emails are answered, whatever questions you have been asking. So you can contact over email as well if you have any other questions. Okay, thank you very much.